Welcome back to the 10th episode of our ETOS tutorials. So today in a special, we want to talk about the 10 most common mistakes beginners make handling ETOS. Okay, so the first issue I want to deal with, the first mistake that is commonly made is the encryption. So the ETOS system offers encryption for cybersecurity, and if you activate that during the commissioning wizard or in the communications tab, up here it says SSL encryption, TLS encryption on or off. If you activate it, you need to put the HTTPS in your address line to be able to access the system anymore. Otherwise, you will be able to ping it, the LEDs will be green, but you won't be able to use the standard browser to access the unit. Number two, our DIO connection cable. So if you take a look with me at the unit here, we have a purple cable connecting the two units, the CPU and the DIO. Now, if for some reason this cable is loose or somebody would disconnect it for some reason, the complete unit goes into an error stage. That's not critical in the first place. You can see the LEDs change immediately, and on the home screen we get an error message. So quite simple solution for that is to reconnect the cable. Well, basically first you power down the system, you reconnect the cable, you tighten it properly, and then you power up the system again, and it will be back to normal. Number three, the Ethernet connection. So typically you will be using the ETH 2.1 port here on the CPU module, and that is the correct port for the communication. Now, this happens very fast that you're going to be connected to the wrong port. In this case, you will not have any communication to the system, for sure. Simple solution, just check to be on the right port. ETH 2.1 or 2.2 are the right ports for the visualization. Number four, quite often the DIO module has, if it's a larger setup, it has its own power supply unit. So quite often we had the case that customers did forget to connect or to power up that additional power supply unit. And in this case, the LEDs of the DIO module would remain dark. You would it's very easy to spot that, and then you can check through the diagram to see if the correct power supply unit is powered up. Also, the power supply unit here in the frame, maybe you can see it, has a little LED on top that gives you indication that everything is right and the unit is up and running. So number five, events that need a confirmation or an acknowledgement. So if we come back to the event screen, we can see different events pending here. It's a bushing monitoring system, so I have events related to bushing monitoring. Now, these events here don't need an acknowledgement, but sometimes in ETOS you need to actively check the box here at the end of the line. I can't do it here right now. Then you will be able to acknowledge that event and it will disappear, and the problem is typically solved with that. The next one, also related to the visualization, basically, sometimes you have a picture on your screen that just does not seem to be right. It looks strange, there's wrong data being displayed, or just the whole thing doesn't make any sense. Quite often this happens. The browser does a thing called caching. So from time to time, we definitely recommend to clear the cache of your browser, especially if you experience strange visualization things. So this is an easy solution to get a complete refresh of the visualization, and then typically these issues disappear simple. Now the next one is related to the configuration of ETOS. So for the case that you will expand the system and add another card, or you need to replace a card for any instance, then take extra caution to install the cards card by card or slot by slot the way it's mentioned in the electrical diagram. Because if you mix up the slots, if you rotate the cards, then the system won't be able to start up properly and will bring up an error message. So this is quite common because the system will check card by card if they are available. Number 8. So this problem is related to the serialization of ETOS. So each unit has its own serial number. This is for protection and also for easy identification. Now, if that serial number is not matching the unit you want to use, then you will get a proper error message during the import of that software. So in that case, please double check that you have the correct file to import into your unit. Number 9. Some of the units have more than one Canbus communication card. So that means there's more than one DIO module or even some other modules that require Canbus communication. If that's the case, we sometimes use connectors with built-in resistors for termination of the cables. So that needs to be in the right position, otherwise that could also disturb the proper communication. Number 10, last one for today. So another problem related to the visualization. It happens quite fast. You forget to change the local IP address of your computer or your Ethernet adapter. This way you can't reach the unit and you have to set your IP address accordingly to the same range as ETOS. That's easy because ETOS has always the same fixed IP address, 192, 168, 165, and then 1. So your computer or Ethernet adapter needs to be anything else than 1, and then you should be able to access the unit easily. So these were the 10 most common mistakes beginners do handling ETOS. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching and see you again soon.